We are back, and today, like you guys see on the screen, we're gonna do the history thing again. Basically, today, let me open some more paints so we can make things happen. Firstly, we're gonna open the view to see comparables uh, with capitals. Yeah, capitals are indeed correct space says, but now we're gonna do our regions as well. Basically, all those regions here, what you guys see, will be shown. This is different region, this is region, that's a region. Basically, we are doing regions, so firstly, we are doing regions to make more interesting that because we can't make them all being immediately taken away. We need our regions to make this little bit interesting. So we are doing regions as save as PNG. All time a copy. Yes. So basically next time we see with regions and we will be even closer to others because we are so far down got 10 others. And why I'm doing lives is to make you guys see it immediately and not wait until I upload. And plus I need space for my device as well. And now we can see that there's some regions already shown. And basically we aren't gonna do all regions in, but we are doing some. Region here, here the regions about here should be one as well. And here is one region. This is one region. Region here. This should be region. That's region. There is hugest longest region. 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 Basically, you guys can name all those regions as well. I don't really care. And you guys can name all those countries as well. Should we make actually borders being black as well on the real map? Because in real life countries they are black at borders. Basic, not real life, but in most of maps, and this would make it easier to see. And basically, we are already on Italian Peninsula. Uh, yeah, there's almost all this country being divided to regions, and this is now divided in the regions. Basically, all the globe need to be drawn in the regions. So, yeah, because every continent is colonized except Antarctica because it's so cold and people haven't gone so south. So yeah, basically when we finish with this French thing and this German thing and this Polish thing and those Spain and Portugal thing here and this African thing and that and Great Britain thing, we're gonna go back to the main video with focusing after the live the borders of those regions. And now we are decently made of these French ones. And now the French is made, and this should be going like that. Based on histories and that also happened here, we are dividing those like that as well. We aren't gonna go in the main huge countries too. We are just focusing more in the Europe for now. We did some Alaska lands. Also, I wanna actually finish those Caribbeans firstly off as well because we started with them. And little bit we can go on the main Alaska lands. For now, I don't really know. I wanna connect those two up and then go back to the Europe. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Connect those two up and then we can go back to the Europe thing. Mm, yeah, this is connected now, and little bit connection further should be going. There. For now, here it is done. Now, that kind of thing, this kind of thing, that, this. Now, to the orange country here. Basically, dividing them into regions is interesting thing to do, and let's save you as well. So you would be like that. Now we need to go over to Africa as well. Basically, Africa is more emptier, so there should be more bigger regions. And there we go with that region of the British thing here done. And we're gonna work with here regions. Let's go over here, making regions. Basically, darker nations. I think they will get some different color border of regions. But anyways, those regions are actually getting made. As we continue doing that, I wanna mention that World War will be happening in this live. Wait until that. Yeah, let's go back to the British thing. Based on where people majorly live, they are going to be colonizing those regions as well. To those regions. Scottish, you are more divided as well. Now we can see that there's major regions in Eurotan, but Africa, we need to make you more in the regions. More landlocked regions, they gonna be a little bit bigger. So they can survive better really. And basically those desert regions they are also same thing. And this region you're going like that. This region you will be going like this. Should this be one region or not? I don't think this should be one region. This region border goes like that. Then there's southern region. There's one region. And for these lands, they will be divided further. Now, Africa regions, they are made, but some Europeans, what I promised, they aren't done. So we need to make them done. Basically, what we have here is one side of Europe being divided in regions and other not. Now you can see that those regions are absolutely hugely divided. Now to this country regions. Basically, your regions are going even a little bit different than other countries' regions. Some regions are going here, one suspicious shape region is here, and well, coastal regions are a little bit smaller, except for this. Then we will see another region being here. Then this kind of place is further region wide, and well, your regions are almost done. And now those regions are done as well. Now we can go back to the main video and any uh, chat things. Nope. Then let's go back. Like we can see, there's massive things happening. Oops. And what basically now is happening is firstly that China, you can't handle yourself being that huge. So you just collapsed. Yep, fully collapsed into different countries based on where you expanded. I'm scared that you're same colored. Yep, you are. So for that, we're gonna make you different colored and different border will be there. Now, China, you're more divided. Now, for this region here, you kinda started invade your neighbors. Starting with here, forcing your way fully high speedly to through those until you are just going further until you just take it over Turkey lands pretty much. But you didn't want to stop there, so you just go a little bit northern, and now we can see that this is going successfully for you. And afterwards, you can see that you're virtually destroyed so many countries and you united with this country. And for this region, you just purchased the island Cyprus fully, make yourself being seeable. And now you kinda wanted to go further here, but can't. Now here we see alliance forming up by this guy, making this guy join, then this guy join it, then the Baltic join it, and the Sherman join it there, and yeah, you join it as well. And that's not the only alliance going on. This alliance were happening, and this alliance started to form up. And now we can save also all time with alliances. And Russia, you also made your alliance, but seeably no one joined that except for one. That's the only one. Nope, this guy thought he can join also that. And now here comes the interesting part. You made your alliance where you got decently some members, but those are kinda it. Now here we can see that the war happens based on raids invading this pink nation. You actually, at the same time, joined this kind of group, making the war fully being against this group as well. I'm not gonna remove those actually. And this group also joined this war, so they can get lands as well, siding the red team. So this group got involved, siding this kind of group, and Russia group. You just kinda leave it out of that because you can't really get any new lands up there. Even if you join, you kinda be failing on one side or another side, or you can fall by both sides expanding in you. So it's kinda useless. And well, those Chinese lands, they kinda made their own groups to secure themselves through the expansioners. Basically, China also joined that they are here for security for themselves. And now also Japan joins that and Korea. Now Russia, you just invades this Siberia. You actually want to join that, but now it's not gonna happen. And without any longer talks, we can begin the invasions. Now you started push in that group mainlands red team. Now you're pushing heavily through them, pushing them really out of the mainlands here, and also making pushes to the Africa as well. So now, based on where you push, there you can focus more. But this circle na- nation push it from here and here. Basically, when they are pushing those lands out existing, they can get decent out of lands and maybe even get the coast and not be landlocked. So you just continue pushing there for those borders and basically for this kind of place he joined star group as well because he's this close to be expanding as well. And for red team, he's making decent out of pushes around his border, pushing gradually in this region as well. And now you made island landing here to get closer, capturing major of that country. And going so hugely around those borders, capturing all the country. And now for this region, there's upgoing pushes from around those borders, basically trying to destroy those countries fully. And from here too, there's pushes going on until we can see that it ended from those ghosts being majorly focused. And afterwards, they were focused. This kinda made being the main target here. Red team made landing from here to make their one colonizement here, so they can just secure this place if they need it. And afterwards, we can see that no, blue team made push even further to the yellow team, and red team kinda secured the borders there because they didn't want to really expand so hugely to make people suspicious. So they kinda expanded only that way. And now we can see that brown team, you take it over those lands here. So you would look like that. And for yellow team, you kinda failed to be here. So now there's further expansions happening on the border. Now there's light blue team who made huge expansion but kinda stopped it with that. Now this team were forged heavily, so this team agreed to peace treaty, giving away those lands to their neighbors, and also would join different team, so they would be out of main focus of invasion, and making this alliance grow even further. And now there's blue team who invaded there, and now Russia kinda invaded only that lands here to get lands there too. And Russia and the blue team basically they divide those lands up. Who gains what lands? And basically Russia You did take decent out of lands there, and the blue team as well, making so interesting claims means interesting looking borders. And this purple team, you also take this kind of thing out. So you would be fully Arabic. Now, red team, you made your grow to this region, making it fully being yours and pushing your way northern. So you would be bordering there on coasts, and this bluish team you would push all the way to the red team and basically pushing your way over the coast as well as the red team takes out main of those lands here. And now this war kinda is on this country only, so red team just push it in them, and this bluish team also push it in them, making their being struggles, and they agreed to peace out, giving many lands away only so they can survive. But what happened is also shocking. They lost their alliance fully. And now we can see that there's Russian alliance expanding their ways, so they would be a little bit more secured, basically making claims on other continents would be great. And now, Alaska, you made your alliance. Basically, this alliance is made to secure your influence. So it's reasonable that some countries would join that. Now, this Nordic country, you also are invading. Now, here we have lot happened. Now, Russia, you also are invading this Karelia region. Not only you, but the Nordic would invade that, pushing heavily in there, taking this region. And now we can see that Baltic also invaded that region, pushing their way also there. And now, after some fightings about those regions, everything seems to be divided up. And now, this pink team, you kinda choose circle team because you knew that Russia would be against you, making red team being growing. And now we can see that another team would form up. This team would be fully around global. And based on where you're looking at team, there's many claims around the globe of the team. I forgot Russia is invading that land, so based on how this invasion happened here, lands are divided on this country. So we can just draw in the border of those nations based on how much those expansions happened. And for Alaska, you're lucky because you managed to expand your way to the Asia too. And you're not the only one who expanded there. Basically, those lands are pretty different than used to be. There's less countries remaining. And basically, we will see that there's much happening now. And now we can see that South America would be next to make breakaways and make an alliance as well, making their globally seeable. And now for each breakaway, they would slightly see on capitals as well. And some lands of the red team would be gained based on how we made this kind of thing. That's how this will be going. And now we can also give this to the red team. You know what? Basically, we're gonna yonk this place, copy that, paste you over here at the place where you should be. And now we can see that you're made fully pink like you should, except for those borders here. That should be fixed. Basically, you growed that many times that can't even imagine that. What the? There's no yellow there. Oh, I kinda didn't take this one. And now we can just draw you like that in, and regave those capitals what were theirs. And for Africa, the same would be made, basically copying this region and yonking you at the real place, and simply coloring those regions over, making these borders being done, but kinda we need to replace this capital and this capital and that capital. Also capitals from those regions should be placed in. Now I forgot China should be also divided up. Oops. And also Russia region should be divided based on where they are. The dividement happens there. And now we can just place again capitals in, and for other map what we have, we kinda need to same thing. But afterwards, if we have all those regions, we can have that even easier to do. And we simply gonna draw that kind of things in. Basically, we need to remove all those alliances on this map, and simply we have non-alliances going on. Now let's simply save that, and now we kinda need to upgrade this map, basically from here all that. So we're gonna yonk this side of that, and basically we're gonna paste you over this main map, making our map here being more growing, but we still have places that need to be fixed, like here. Okay, we're gonna just yonk you. So we can just simply place you over there and paint you fully to the red team colors, and those are these team's claims, and we kind of forgot the Karelia region. It is also different because it's not anymore a country. This should be changed. There we go. Now we can replace the capital to here, and we have Russia capital actually being here. And also we can see that there's differences around the globe. Now we kinda need to draw those regions back to the color. So now when we get capitals at this map not showable, this will be great then we are getting that now we are getting that majorly done. Oops. Now no chats. Now and just get rid of capitals here. Now we can just focus further until we are here. Now we are gonna make this also done. Now there's none of capitals on the map. Now there we go. Let's be on mute for now. So now let's go back to the main maps, and this time we're gonna draw in those regions of this Polish nation. So we will be seeable that actually there's differences happening, and well, now we are doing goodly. Now, should we actually draw firstly in the regions? Because if we do, then the changes would be easier. And I think we're gonna make changes happen on this main region map. I mean, we could use that if I know how to use that, but for now we are using different maps, and some politics would start make regions as well, based on where they mostly want regions. There should come some. Now we can see that there's majorly huge borders going on here. Basically, some regions also are showing differences. Also, we're gonna make this red team being regions as well. So, like I said, some regions are more different side picking than others. And now we are doing like that region, like that. This kind of region should be here. Basically, some new rule is on European nations that if they don't own regions, they will be soon expelled and suspended from Europe continent. So this is why countries started slowly in Europe doing regions to stay on Europe. And when they don't do regions, they will be soon enough destroyed. So some countries are at begin age like this Nordic to make regions, and some who are closest is like this Baltic nation, and some who are finished with their regions are looking like that. Now, with regions being forced to Europe, it means a lot happening now. There's hugely going on regions here, and it accounts for countries who are actually fully in Europe regions but soon it will count for others as well. Basically, all those countries who are in Europe started repair making creations. Now, Baltic, you would also get closer to your main capital. Nordic, you would slowly make each region being warmed up. And now for Belarus thing here, you're making your regions on the other region reporters. So you would be say that you can focus on regions as well. And well, bigger the countries, the more regions they should recover have. So, for example, if you're like the Russia here, you would need have thousands of regions. And well, those regions to make thousand regions, you need a lot of money. And well, this Belarus just simply can't take over the plan to do the same like they are doing, making regions on the region borders. And we are back with making creatures. Now, as more regions form up, the more differences come up in their countries, making more regions mean more differences. People start showing different signs. So basically, every country have their differences. But now regions have also making country being so different from main country. And as further those regions form up, the more differences start form. That's why the light red team didn't claim more further in Europe. They knew that this would happen to them then. And dark reds, you're basically done. But this goldish team, you need also to start working on your plans to make regions because you're also one who actually are majorly in Europe. So you're also coming soon with those needs. So now that reddish team is finished, that Belarus nation start making further their regions until they reach major border with the Baltics. Now you need to start working on with your regions. Otherwise you will be invaded by different countries. So you would start making regions based on where your borders are. You are using that to make regions. And basically, there's hugely Europe regionalized and Nordic. You're going making a little bit more regions, and some like the gray country and the orange country don't understand why you are taking so slow to make regions. But when they are at the cold places like you are, they probably will understand why. Now the Belarus, you would start making further regions, making your borders being until here, and basically making further regions. Almost your entire country is regionalized now. And based on this brownish goldish team, why they needed to do that is their capital is majorly in Europe place, and they're started from the Europe lands. So now they kinda need to grow, making regions as well. Growing is kinda stuff for countries in around the globe because they kinda see that as a threat. More countries on Europe start being united, and that means further influence over their main countries' lands. So, what basically happens is interesting. Regions warm, and regions gonna be on around the countries from main South Africa to soon Asia, and little bit of Americas are also regions. And Alaska, you made some more regions to make yourself better. And now we can see that those regions of Belarus are simply gonna be done soon, since Belarus is focused making border regions started. That means they are really close to make all regions. And
Oh, I got them.
now there we have
Thanks, bro.
Belarus fully
Oh my days, I'm pretty good.
regionalized. Now we can just simply go further back to the Baltics.
How do I say?
They are making further regions closer to their capital, and simply they made capital region and other regions start forming up as well. And now we are kinda seeing Baltic being next country who is closer to the colder spots. They started making regions here, here, but kinda were stopped because those golden places are threatening them. And now we can see that Brownish team got the idea to do a little bit bigger regions to be closer out of the threats. Basically, Nordic, you kinda made some more regions, but kinda stop it yourself at here borders and here. Yep, your first one who had problems making regions. Now Baltic still tried to make regions in the north spots, but also sees problems to that because the coldest places are literally so close. So it's kinda failing to make regions in those north spots. So Baltic just also stopped making regions about Ghost. They made some regions, and that was it for here. And Baltic just simply made region governments on the Russian border and little bit center, and from this Nordic border here, and kinda stopped because mainly the regions are colder there, and I forgot to draw you also being Nordic lands. And now for this brownish team, they are literally trying their best to make regions. And nextly, if brownish team is done, then this pinkish team would be next target to be make regions. And well, as further those regions are made, the further Europe seems to be differences. Now we can see that Europe is majorly different than that was before, and some why the Iceland starts being regionalized as well, but they weren't forced to make regions. They just some why did start making own regions from Iceland to, and why they did is to make friendship with Europe, showing that they are agreeing with their great idea to make regions, and they would follow their lead. So now we can see that there's many Greenland regions starting form up as well. Nordic, you did one region here, and another at the coast. 1 second, guys. So, like we are doing the same colonizements, and we are trying to do our best as long as the school is at on. So, further, those Finnish colonies being warm by Baltic, the problem more solves. As winter comes, Europe, this side is at snow, making northern colonies not gonna grow further, but south colonies would be shining further. So basically, this brownish team, they have perfect temperature to make colonies right now, and they do that. Basically, they have those regions so perfect temperature that they can do so many colonies there. Regions that there's barely any stop on their way. Until they manage to get the desert area where it is a little bit difficult to make regions. So they just made regions here and basically making regions on the coast majorly. And they are almost done with their regions. And now their regions are so close to being finished. And the Europeans thought that though Sweden and Baltic can do that before they can, but seems like when it's winter, it's different. And well, for winter, the deserts aren't so hot as well. And well, they are originally so far into this that they are actually being made many borders already. And now the regions are simply, oops, I didn't mean that. What I wanted to say is that the regions are finished, making they being out of problem. So there's Pink Team who is forced to make regions now. Pink Team just simply used southern sides to make regions because they are perfect temperature war now, making them perfectly stable for regions. And Pink Team, you made your regions decent sized, but when the winter slowly started to get over, you can got going even northern and made your capital region And well, now when it's started getting month later, you go a little bit northern to make some space for another regions and cut some capital regions lands off to make new regions. And as the summer started getting closer and closer, you just go simply northern ways and simply you manage to make decently some regions. And when the summer came, there's waiting Baltic and Nordic before its perfect month to work on their regions. Until this month came, making immediately further regions. Baltic were first one who made regions about here. They made many regions, and as they continued making regions, they were so close to finishing off their regionizing. And for Nordic, that was perfect time to make regions as well. As you continued Nordic, you were getting so close to the full year ice. Basically, those places are majorly frozen entire year. But as you did plan go there, Baltic just finished their regions off. And this pinkish team thought to start their regionizements as well for fun, just for fun. You just made 4 regions because you can't really go further for now because you don't have any approval from Europe. Yep, Europe is now giving approval to make regions some way. Basically, when Nordic finish the borders of regions, then you are so close to them that your regions would be needed to make. Nordic, you just simply made regions on the Baltic Sea and even hitting Baltics border with regions. And further you go, and basically you're going on Atlantic Ocean regions as well. Further you go, the colder it gets until it were so cold that you didn't really have to go so north to that. But according to Europe, and region or rules. Every single land of your country need to be regionalized. So even those colder lands. Now you just simply make regions here to make little bit slower pushes, and now those regions are made here, and those regions kinda were out of movements. And Nordic, you just simply made regions here. So the pinkish team, purplish pink team asked Europe approval to make regions, and Europe just approved that, making them being next one who need to make regions. But for Nordic, your regions haven't really going so fastly. You're kinda stuck with the northern spots where their full year winter will be. And well, as further the pink team makes regions, the further it gets to Russia border, those regions that they will probably force Russia to make regions soon as well. But for now, it seems not being the case. And the purpose team, you start making your regions here. Basically, as you made regions, you managed to make new movements on your lands. As those regions seems to be working for you, and some countries are trying to do so fastly those regions that they would be at not so big problem. Greenland, your regions are slowed down as well. Reason Europeans haven't approved you to make regions. So you're kinda say that you don't need to make regions. So you just stop your work there and simply Europeans just look at regions of different countries as those regions are gonna warm up. The further they gonna be, the more it seems to be fully differences seeable. And now we can see that there's many new regions. Now there's this country, making for fun regions until they managed to hit capital, and there basically they start making regions even faster because more resources can be transported to those places where regions doesn't really exist. So now we can kinda see regions are popping out every single time now from this country. They were really much repaired to make regions, seems like. And now Nordic tried to make regions to finish their borders of regions off, but kinda were stopped by the
Oh my, there's
winter
Mr.
as
Criminal
well.
on here.
So the winter made those regions border of Nordic
Oh my,
being kinda frozen.
so nice.
So now we can just see that Nordic just hasn't made all those regions, and soon their time runs out as well.
Oh, there's a
Every
lot of guys.
country have 3 years guarantee to make regions before they will be destroyed. So now, as regions are warming up in each of those main countries, Nordic just push it more resources to the region making that they won't be running out of time, but now other countrysides would focus last of resources, and they haven't even regionalized these islands. So they asked for resources to get more funds. They just simply asked firstly this country who reject, then Baltic who reject. Basically, every country who they asked, they reject because they have own problems with regions being differences. Now, as further those regions were made, now there would be many different places to travel, and so that many people would like to go there. And well, those regions are simply just tourist place in this country. Basically, tourist places are majorly everywhere, but this country is the one of the biggest tourist place, making CPD from capital to be huge as well by tourists. So now we can see that this country just simply have majorly focused on regions and kinda is ending up
What the heck?
being the next who is fully regionalized. So if they do get the regions fully made there. Then there's big Russia on the next border, who would be probably forced to be next to migration places. And now those regions just simply are made to be, and as they finish, their regions can't be changed until 2 year passments. Right now they are allowed to change those regions borders, but until the 2 years have been passed, they can't really do that. So, as regions are warming, they didn't see any problem with their borders for now, until some guy drew region being
Comments.
here, what made this city being divided, and regions kinda had to focus on that there. So this were problem for them because now two regions at north are focusedly dividing this city. You just ask it, can we actually draw a better border like that? But it will reject by the entire continent here. Now those regions are rigidly stapled and kinda alliances start fail apart. Basically, Europeans start with alliances, making themselves being alone, and as they quit, there's not any problem by this change, seems like, but they made their own alliance. So basically, this alliance is focused on their mainlands, and these have their region rules in them. And this kind of guy, he didn't really want quit his alliance, but he had to if he wanna stay as it is. Now this alliance were just destroyed. So this kinda made the alliance disappeared entirely on the map. Now we can see that there's change happening of alliances. Basically, all North America is in one alliance, seems like. And well, now we do see all North America in one alliance and South America in other. And we kind of have to make, yeah, this is our country. We can see that there's so many different alliances on Africa. Now, Circle Alliance kinda expanded further on Africa. And now you can see that rebels start warming up at the Australia regions start being major aggressive. Basically all those lands what you guys can see they didn't want to be colonized. So what did happen is interesting. Every single colony there just suddenly being independent. And this means a lot. Now their borders have been successfully changed. And well, now for other maps, we kinda need to young Australia as well. So
Oh my
that we
days.
can just simply place you over
How
other
the heck
maps.
did you got on
So Australia, you kinda isn't regions or alliance. So you kinda are just alone with nothing happening. But Australia, you are actually allowed to make your own region plans because Europeans didn't count new countries' rules, and this island isn't even recognized by anyone. So yeah, now we can just see that there's not many things happening, but what surely happens is that the another war would take a place. This time it's just two close alliances, Circle Alliance and this uh, 90 degrees cube, actually less than that. Basically, the threats were on this border, and after the problems and after the war things, we can just
Oh my
see
days,
that
there's two guys.
those
Oh my days,
borders
I'm dead. I'm
changed
dead.
about that, and this alliance lost its trust on Arabic, and yeah, that's it for this alliance placement last month, and now we can just copy you over to this map, placing you the place where you should be, So you would be at the place here. And well, now we can see that you're really doing better than any other nation here. And well, for your security, you moved your capital. Now we kinda see this as a major thing. Now we would say that Red Team is a huge empire now. You would be forced to start making creations now. But why? They are world power right now. Well, not then if Europe and this guy is against them. And even with their Circle Alliance members can't feed that because Africa is major weakened place. So Red Ally Red Team needed to create their terms. So they started making some regions, but only little bit of those regions started warm up. The Europe sides just until they just stop at here, saying they got what they wanted. They made regions at the continent. Now other sides can stay like it is, and Europe got a little bit angry about that because others did what Europe want and fully on their full country, and trade just ignores their terms of what they did. So this kinda made plan for Europe invades before they said you must do that on full country. Then Red Team just made some regions on the coast of the Black Sea, and that was basically it. They said we did our main country. Then they got a little bit angrier and said the full country. So they just simply divide Cyprus, making creation here, 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 and also here. Basically, they're making regions those places where the people are already different to make their differences be still same. And as those regions are made, they said we did what you asked. Then Europe got even angrier than used to be. Then they made regions in the Asia sites as well. Basically, they are a little bit lazier than others. They are just pulling Europe. So, as they made more regions, there's much seeable differences as those regions are warmed there's not much happening with the main country. There's just regions warming up at the place where the main country not used to be. So now, as this region kinda thing warmed up at not the main country, Europe prepared to next year being invasion on the red team. Now they kinda made regions further and further until they just stopped because they wanted to use their resources to colonize lands, but where they could colonize. So some regions were kinda left be alone. So regions kinda had to not say anything on this country, and now those regions just start making their self. And well, red team said if you're in the region, you're useless people. That made Europe even angrier. That regions are mainly focused in their countries. So Europe changed their plans to invasion to be on half year. So and basically all people who are in regions of red team, they kinda are angry as well because now red team say they are useless. So now there's many things happening against red team, and basically all red team's Africa lands are against red team, and basically so many lands of red team are just against red team, and some places start making their own regions and be against red team as well. So as those regions start form up, the red team start being further aggressive looking and less united, and this empire kinda start failing apart. And what happened with these placements? I mean, we can fix that little bit. Now this should fix it for now. And this, we're gonna make you be like that. Now, red team, you kinda had been working to make further colonizements, but your colony started make against moves as well as regions are making against moves. So afterwards, we see that red team people from the mainlands start making regions as well. Making regions in the mainland means a lot happening. And now there it happened. Red team started collapse. Firstly, that lands were gained independence. Basically, all those who were forcibly taken away are now back, getting their wanted lands. And well, now there's virtually little unitement of those two. Then we can see that this region break it away. Those regions actually. And well, they kinda left red team out of hands as they moved further. And now we can see that this managed to get even worse for red team. More lands start see being independent and less red teams. Making this changement of the country meant a lot would change, and this country would slowly cease to exist, and some regions just changed their country existence to other countries like this. And red team, you're kinda fading apart. And as you're failing apart, Bin try to save yourself, but it's useless as one country came back now from death, but not only that sized, they are a little bit bigger and they would keep their regions what you made to them as their main regions, and they are a little bit bigger than used to be, but it's fine. That doesn't do anything. And as those regions are forming up, you're actually being made hugest failments ever seen on the globe. And those regions are simply failed to hold, and simply one country again being formed, but this time it pushed one land away of you, and now the regions here start being forcefully made. So basically, those regions actually doesn't exist there, but now they do exist. And as people are made to be regionist, Red Team kinda solve that as problem. So basically all these were funded by Europeans, making Europe being the one who gets the most lands of that, meaning that they would be more enjoyed in that, and there would be more countries able to form at red team lands. And now we're gonna give this region to that, and also that would be given so it's not connecting with this green. Now red team kinda gave up. They just start making their own regions. And their colony were kinda gave own choice as well what they want to do. So colony asked for freedom. Basically this all thing to be freed, and red team had no other choice but to accept this offer as well, because Europe would be oncoming them then, and now as red team is making further regions, there's much new places to be, and like we said, this is freed, and well, now we can see that red team empire is richly done for real. It's disappeared from map, and this country made their own regions now because they were said to do it. So they just simply do that, following their rules, what they were gave, doing more better than red team does done, making regions being futures being formed. Majorly, those regions are being formed at the places where they should be. And now we can see that those regions are richly far from Europe out. And they are richly being made every day based on one city of those places. They are giving that one city huge region to control over. So as this region thing happens, they kinda ran out of the cities to give regions. So they just used some towns as well to make regions, and afterwards they were done. And now those regions are richly more there, and this Greenish team had to make their regions as well because they were forced to. So Federation C would be fully regionalized.
Oh, yes.
And as they made regions there, they would see that they are actually being better than they should be. So they just leave it their regions be. And now there's huge things on Asia, Africa, and Europe going on. Now Russia were forced to make regions, so Russia just did make some regions, but just when Europeans thought they would do like they were said, Russia just simply stopped making further regions, stopping that way of that. Basically, making regions mainly focused on some European borders, with Russia being
Huh?
angered
Later.
as main Europeans who did see that as a threat start talking to each other, and after the talk, they just simply
Bro, let me.
leave it Russia as they are because they are the world biggest country as well. So it's a little bit hard to make regions there. They got that, but they didn't got Nordic thing. So they just say they can do each year new region. So as the year passes, Russia did what they were said, making regions each year until they have decent out of regions and resources are focusedly going in. And now the regions are richly being formed and formed, and now Russia have been changed rules. They can make now two regions at the year. So that's what happened as well. They did each year two regions until they were so close to being fully making Europe sides in regions, and as it got further, Russia made more regions, and now each time Russia gets more resources getting into country, they need to make more regions at the same time, making Russia being really focused making regions. And now we can see that Russia is doing decently good job. Not anything to say to Europeans or anything like the red team did. Russia just simply is doing like they were asked until one place but were thought they were left out of the main works of their problems. Like Russia promised this kind of year to focus those resources to there. They didn't. So this region just broke it away of Russia, making it also member of this union of regions. So Russia just kind of leave you there because if you Russia invade that, you would be nextly invaded by Europeans, and this capital would be here. And well, as regions are warmed, the invasions should be happening fully in regions. Basically, each invasion what will happen will be better focused in the region maps. And finally, the regions just are made to be like that. But Russia didn't stop there. They were asking if they can just, for now, make European sides regions of the mountain and think of Europeans. They were said that they can leave regions making for now if they take European mountain sides and the Asian mountain sides, so, just making regions on there. And as they do so, like they were asked, those regions are just simply made to be like that. And to finish those regions off, for now, they kinda did so. Leaving this Russia side regionized and this kinda thing not regionized. So now we can see that nextly there's another country focused at making regions. Basically, Europeans thought if they make every country have regions, they would be available to control everything happening around them. So that's what happening. Europeans making regions everywhere forcefully, and afterwards those regions would be funding Europeans for their work. And Hi. Yeah, I don't really know about that. It was Baltic thing, but yeah, it also grew to Finland. So yeah, and you do said hi. I didn't look that, and I don't know who is on the live, but you have also Roblox thing. I'm gonna like you, and let's go back to the work of regions. Basically, when we finish our regions of here, there would be not much happening, and now those regions would go over here, and they made regions here until they hit their main regions, and now uh, yeah, I think we will soon end the live. Now, as those regions are forming more up, there would be further dispulsions on them, and now there's so many different regions things happening. Now, for Greenland, they made further regions of their regions, making regions being more seeable of their country. Now back to the Africa thing. Basically, here you mainly are deserts, but Africa were just still made small regions there. And now we kind of see that there's so many regions now formed up, and this purplish team made their own regions now because they didn't want to be threatened by Europeans to make regions, and Europeans were confused that they did that, but they leave them as well because now they can use that country to be going anywhere they want of their borders. And now there's much new places to be. Basically, each time those regions grow, they kinda hit their points, and further they grow, the more seas to be happened, and now there's hugest region ever made. This region here of this country. The third biggest, maybe. Alaska is second. Yeah, third biggest country is here. Basically, as those regions start forming up in Africa, the Australia region that it's so popular in the north of Europeans and Africans that they probably will soon do as well their regions. And now we can see that there's so many new regions forming and forming. Further they make them, the more divided this country will be. And these placements break it away as well, making again its country. Like the previous hour have been. And now, as those regions are there, there's more happening. More regions start being formed there, even fastly, even faster than used to be. I wanted to say, but I said fastly some way. Now there's huge region things happening here that is facing differences. Those regions managed to get there, and now those regions start get even closer, growing through the country, and as they do, they are mainly changing the country every side until the country seems to be failed to hold at one piece. So now the country just suddenly ceased to be one, as those regions are warmed up, and as they fully being regionalized, the country just suddenly start fail to hold as one, making more countries being formed up. Basically, you guys now saw my recorder who wanted upgrades. I usually use this recorder to make my videos. Now we can just make more regions being making countries. This is the hugest breakaway ever seen. And now this breakaway just made huge change to the country in government. And I think soon we will end that video. And this will be another breakaway point. Basically, all this desert place is breaking away. And for finally, we see last breakaway point being here. And now we kind of have new nations everywhere. And now in next live we see more regions. But for now, this live gonna be ending. One watching. Okay. And yeah, 1 minute. So hope you guys liked this live and see you in next video or live. Bye.